So when I started Circles, I really didn't have a lot of support in Northwest Arkansas. I didn't grow up in Arkansas, and my family didn't live there locally. And so I really didn't have the community support or the resources. So I joined Circles to kind of gain community and have those friendships and those resources. And I didn't have a lot of faith in humanity at that time. And what I found in Circles through my time at Circles was that there were people there that genuinely cared about me and my successes and what I was going through and my success in life and with my family. One of those examples with my allies was I had been at my job, my current job, for almost 10 years. When you're living in poverty and you're dependent on that money, making a big change like that and not knowing what that future holds and changing your income, that's super scary when you're a single parent and you have 3 kids. And my allies, they sat with me every week. I was under so much stress. That job was so stressful. I was a manager. My phone would ring all hours of the day, night, didn't matter. Had 2 phones. My kids sometimes would be like, oh, is it so-and-so? Like, that's how bad it was. And my allies would be like, Carmen, like, you are a hard worker. You have these qualities. This is who you are. And they would just reassure me week by week, and they helped build my confidence in who I was, who I am. And I just thank them for that, because it was through the weeks. It took them a while, but it was through that eventually I was like, you know what? I think I am. I think I'm ready. Like, I finally started like filling out those resumes, and I'm like, that's it. Like, I'm gonna just do it. The worst that could happen is no. I filled out those resumes. I'm like, you know what? I am a hard worker. I show up on time. I do more work than the other managers, and I got a better job. I got more pay, more benefits. It's amazing. I am so much more happier. I work less hours, and it's so much better for my family. And Circles, really, what I love about Circles is they taught me SMART goals, which I now use with my new job. I use with my life, and I love SMART goals. I live by them, and I was able to accomplish so many goals, such as buying a house, graduating with a bachelor's degree, and thank you. And just really working on those goals and progressing. And it was with the allies' help, like as a first-time home buyer, and my allies, I remember, I didn't have any information on how to buy a house. And like I said, my family was not, local. And so they were actually the ones who came to look at houses with me at some points. And I was really set on this house because it was within my limits that I could afford. And I'm gonna be frank, it was probably a lemon, and it needed some fixing up, fixer-upper. And my realtor kept showing me all these houses that were fixer-uppers, but she swore that was all I could afford. And my ally sat me down one night, one Circles night, and was like, you could have a new realtor. Are you sure you want this house? I said, I could get a new realtor? Yeah, you don't have to stick with that realtor. It's like, I can do that? Like, I didn't know that I could do that. But they were like, if you want this house, you can get this house. We just want you to make the right choice for you financially. And I was like, I know, it's a beautiful home. And then the inspection came back. It was awful. And you know how much inspections are, right? So I'm already out all this money on inspections. And I was so down in the dumps. And I got a new realtor, and she was amazing. I advocated for myself, right? Because they already built my confidence up in myself. So I was like, look, I'm a single mom. My kids deserve this. I want this new house. It's years, like it looked great. I was like, what can you do for me? And the realtor sold me, the new realtor sold me the first house and got it for me. It was perfect. Perfect. But without their help, I wouldn't have known that I could terminate my contract with my old realtor, get a new realtor, not buy the old house, sorry. Not buy the fixer-upper and get in a home that, potentially would cost me loads of money that I didn't have in my budget. And speaking of budget, my ally Scott, he was so I love him, but he was very adamant about budgeting, and budgeting was not my favorite thing, okay? Your girl loves some coffee, and when I am busy, I'm a busy mom, and in school, and doing all those other things, have 3 kids, so sometimes we go out to eat, and I'm not good at budgeting, but Scott made it so easy. He really did. He was so supportive, and as an ally, like, all I can encourage you guys is just to really, go out there and just listen. Like, he really did. He made it so easy. I was so blessed. Like, I cannot tell you. There'd be days I'd just be like, all right, I'm going to pull it up and I'm just going to give you the numbers. Like, here I am. Like, this is what I am, And there was never any judgment. But when I finally did it, I was like, I'm spending that much eating out? Like, that's how much I spend on coffee? And then I was like, I gave my son that much for video games? Because, $2, he'd be like, can I have $2 for this video game? I'm like, okay. But then I'm like, and then it turns into 40, and you're like, you don't really realize it. And so then I took it back to my son, and I'm like, hey, so Scott and I, did the budget, and, this is what it looks like. And so I was like, so we're all going to change what we're doing. So I started meal planning, and I started making coffee at home and, all of that good stuff. And so the next month I went and I said, hey, Scott, look at this. And we saved a ton of money, and I was super excited, and so was my son. And so now he's on an allowance, and I drink coffee from home, but so we were able to save a lot of money and just really see where my money's going, and it helped me tremendously. Circles has been really great with budgeting, building those friendships, building that social connection, and meeting people. Scott is not somebody that I would say, I mentioned Scott a lot. Haley's here. Unfortunately, Scott couldn't be here. We are in Florida. That's many miles away. But, these are people that I probably, especially Scott, if I saw him on the street, I wouldn't be like, hey, man, what's up, An older gentleman, at Walmart, So I'm so thankful for Circles, bringing me together to people that are wiser and that could really guide me to bring me and my family to meet some of these tremendous life goals that have forever changed my life.